YouTube, what's happening? Wanted to do another discussion about the two crossbows that I shoot the most, the Excalibur Micro 340 Takedown and the Centerpoint Wrath 430, and focusing on the draw weights of these two bows. So this one has a draw weight of 200 pounds. This one has a draw weight of 270 pounds. Now when you use the cocking device, for either one of these, it pretty much cuts it in half. So using the cocking device, the Wrath's going to be about 100, and using the cocking device on the Excalibur, it's going to be about 135. So a 35-pound difference between the two. And if you look at how far you're actually pulling the string, due to this being a compound crossbow, you're going to have a longer power stroke. So from where the string is here to where it actually connects into the catch back here, it's about 15 inches. And with the Micro 340, it's about 9 3/4. I think they say 10, but what I measured is about 9 3/4. So where I'm going with that is, even though the Excalibur has a 35-pound heavier draw weight, you're actually pulling it less as opposed to the Wrath. When you're pulling it, even though it's a little bit lighter, you're getting up to here. And obviously, as you start to get up to here, you're going to get, you're not going to be quite as strong. So what I want to do is I want to, put the camera back on a different angle and actually cock both of these and see, am I right? This is my prediction. I think we're going to notice that my arms come up a little bit higher when I'm, obviously it's a 15-inch power stroke, but let's see if we can see a real difference. And pull it up and see where it comes to, and do this one and see where it comes to. So just off of me using both of these, cocking it, I don't really feel like, okay, when I grab the Wrath, it's significantly easier to cock because I got to pull it a little bit higher where I get probably a little bit weaker with the longer travel, as opposed to this one. Even though it's got more draw weight, I'm not pulling it quite as far. All right, let's cock the crossbows and see what it seems like. Starting with the Wrath 430. So here we go. All right, so starting the pull, pretty good resistance. It's getting a little tough. Okay, so right at the bottom of my rib cage, it's cocked right at the bottom of my rib cage. All right, pretty tough about right there, but boom, we're done cocking. And you can see where my hands are. They're at the top of my thighs, about, if you had your hands in your pockets, about where your pockets would bottom out in a normal pair of jeans. That's as far as you got to go. So I'm much stronger from here to here than I am up to here. Okay, so where do we go after that little demonstration? Obviously with the Wrath here, you had to pull it a little bit more. I mean, duh, right? I mean, it's a 15-inch power stroke. You're gonna have to pull a little bit higher. But as you get further with the pull, you notice the weight more. Whereas this one, even though it's a little heavier, you're pulling it shorter so you don't notice it for quite as long. So the way I feel about these two is they kind of cancel one another out in terms of the effort to cock them. So if you've ever thought about an Excalibur or this type of crossbow, but you see the higher proclaimed cocking effort it takes over a compound type crossbow, just think about that. I mean, you're going to be pulling it further, so you're going to have to use your muscles that are going to get a little bit weaker up here than they are way down here. So the 135 pounds may not be as bad as you think over something like 100 pounds. So anyway, once again, I am not trying to promote either one of these crossbows or sell you on one or say this one's better than that one. Just simply talk about some topics of these two things and, present some information. So if you're looking at purchasing a crossbow, you can weigh this against that and maybe, yeah, heck no, I know I don't want this thing based after that, or whatever it may be. So let's kind of step off a little bit of a side trail here, but it does tie into the cocking effort of what we're doing. So with the cocking effort and the power stroke of this one being 15 inches, this is going to generate a higher feet per second speed than this one. The Wrath is going to be somewhere around 415, and the Excalibur is going to be somewhere around 330. Now, when I bought the kits, they both gave me arrows, or didn't give me, but they included them in the kits with the price. So I've got 100 grain field tips on both of these arrows, this one being the Wrath, this one being the Excalibur. This one's approximately 20 inches, this one's approximately 16.5 inches. So when I weighed it out, the center point arrow weighed about 415 grains with the field point on it. The Excalibur's arrow weighed 341 grains with the field point on it. So how does that translate into kinetic energy? So the Wrath, right out the end of the barrel here, with this setup, shooting the speeds it's doing, is going to generate somewhere around 158 foot-pounds of energy. This one, right off the end of the barrel, is going to generate about 82 foot-pounds of energy with this arrow. So that's a lot of difference. When I looked online, I saw multiple, sources that cited for big game somewhere around 40 feet per second. So obviously both of these have more than enough to ethically hunt. When I say big game, I'm probably need to focus in on whitetail deer. That's what I would hunt. So how does this also translate into what I stated was, right at the muzzle, that highest kinetic energy. So what does it look like 50 yards down range? Well, I was surprised. I thought when I did this little calculator, which I'll leave a link for that, I thought it was going to drop a lot more in kinetic energy. But the Wrath at 50 yards goes from 158 down to 145. And the Excalibur goes from 82.2 down to 74. So still both of them with plenty of energy to ethically hunt a whitetail deer and be fine with it. So once again, just some general information on these two crossbows, and whatever you like, whatever you don't like, you don't like. And once again, not trying to promote either one of them or say this one's better than that one. Now, I'm going to switch gears on that a little bit, because I am going to say, still for me, even though this one's a little bit slower, has a little bit less kinetic energy, I'm still kind of favoring this one to hunt, because simply it fits me a lot better. It's slightly lighter. It's easier for me to pack it into the woods. Now, if someone called me tomorrow and said, "Hey, you're gonna, I'm gonna, take you on a moose hunt somewhere," I don't think there's any question that if I'm going to do that, I'm going to take this one, because I've got excessive kinetic energy to be ethical hunting. So, I wouldn't make a decision like that, because I like this one, a little bit more than this one. That in different applications, I'm always going to choose this one. No, I would, pick the right one and take the one that would be the best for the job. But anyway, that's all I really had. Just wanted to present a little bit of, some information on these two bows with the cocking effort, and kind of where you get with the kinetic energy at the end of the power stroke there. So that's it. Let me know what you think. Have a good day.